Welcome, everyone. You found your way to the Sacred Wisdom Circle. Linked by the golden thread, we are lighthouses, beacons of truth guiding the way. Through deep conversations and shared wisdom, we illuminate the path and heal through truth. Sorry about the hesitation there. I was like, I went to a brain fart.
That's okay.
Welcome. We are really looking forward to sharing conversation with you, remembering that you are not lost, you are not broken, you are the light.
Perfect. And it just like shows you when we speak naturally, it comes naturally.
Oh, yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, that intro is a little bit of a mouthful some mornings, isn't it? Well, welcome everyone. So, Pamela and I, just before Alana popped on, we were talking about um the energy and how it's such transformational energies this last couple weeks. Like for me, it's been since the end of August. Like it's just been, okay, hop on the train because we're going and move. And so I keep having to stop and breathe and tell myself, I have more time. I'm good. Everything's slow down. I have time to relax. I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's that this has been a whirlwind from an emotional perspective. The eclipse and the new moon, full moon, we're in amongst, I think there's another eclipse coming, if I'm not
A
mistaken.
lunar
But
eclipse, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah,
From,
on Sunday.
is it lunar? No,
we just had
Solar.
a lunar
solar.
Yeah,
That's what I
solar
meant.
eclipse.
Yes.
solar
Yeah.
eclipse. Yeah,
So
on
it's that
Sunday.
whole element with all of these things going on. Um, it's the waves, just like the tide. We are ebbing and flowing, and which makes sense. We're 75% water, so it's allowing everything to unfold and go with it. And excuse me, feel what you need to feel, and not be hard on ourselves in the process.
Mm,
That's a
So,
big thing.
yeah.
the
It
judgment
really
comes in,
is.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it feels like at the end of the day, I am exhausted. And it's
Right?
not that I'm really doing it anymore. I think it's just all of the energies swirling, the downloads, the new, consciousness flooding in that is taking up a little bit of space, if that's the right way to say it. I don't know. Yeah.
And we're also, as light workers, we are also allowing ourselves to be the vessels for other healing to happen from around the world as well, because we're all connected to everything. So when somewhere in the world there is something going on, light workers are going to feel it. It may be felt in the way of tiredness. We may have emotions come up and we're wondering, where the heck are these emotions coming from? Because it's not something really specific that we can identify. And I can remember sitting across the table from Dale and going, I am in a low mood. I am crying. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. And he's like, all right, just allows me. I said, I don't think this is mine. I think this is something that's going on globally right now.
Mhm.
And fortunately, he's receptive to that. So we do have those moments. So those of you that are out there and maybe having emotions coming up and you're wondering where the heck they're coming from, there's a lot of work being done, even when we're unaware that we are light workers.
Yeah.
Well, and sometimes we feel like, and I've said this a couple times this week to people, like we feel like light workers are just people that create services, but it's anybody in consciousness and anybody that's in this space of expansion of the conscious, of their own consciousness, their own awareness. And so instead of defining it as like, oh, a light worker is somebody that provides services, is a healer or whatever, it's allowing ourselves that when we become and give ourselves permission to become more aware and dive deeper into ourselves and have our own sovereignty and take ownership of all of that, we're allowing permission for others. And that's part of what you're talking about of being like, we're receiving and doing and moving that energy, every single one of us.
Absolutely.
If you're
And
listening, you're also a light worker because you're curious of this space.
Yes.
But
I love
even
that.
when you're not curious, I mean, using myself as an example, I had no clue back in the day before I awakened of how much the universe was working with me and through me, right? It wasn't until that awareness came around that I was like, oh my goodness. Now, the beauty in that is that there was no ego involved. God can work with us and through us without the ego interfering because we're just living our life. So I want people out there to understand if you're just living your life, that's enough to be able to
Mhm.
help make a difference in this world. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you have to be a, deemed healer or
Yeah.
you have to be of service. I often, or you have to be serving. But what I say to people is even if you're a cashier, you're of service.
Yeah.
Even if you're a waitress or a waiter, you're of service. You are touching humanity in some way, shape, or form. And if you really think about it, we all are, whether
Hmm.
we're going out into that kind of profession or not.
Mhm.
Even
Yeah.
like
And
somebody working Home Depot, that's helping somebody out and sharing a smile. It doesn't matter. You're sharing kindness, you're sharing light. That's the light.
Well, and
absolutely.
that pretty much states it that all humans are raising their consciousness, right? So it's a lot easier when you kind of have an understanding of what's going on. That's kind of what I always say. Like we was just talking about this yesterday to a few people because they're just starting to get into this spirituality side, which a lot of people are. So don't feel like you're behind in any way. It's like these, like you said, Pamela, waves of consciousness, waves of people coming along, and it can be a little confusing. And like when you're not feeling well and you don't realize, what's going on. And when you learn about okay, this is energy, this is maybe not me. You learn not only to how to navigate it, how to rest, how to treat your body so that your body can integrate it, but also the nervous system, regulating that nervous system and coming back to your center and really, as I say, standing in your power because it's very easy to crumble into tears at some times. And sometimes we need that, just the flow of emotions, but not all the time, right? And sometimes we can't. And so I know I always hear, like when I feel myself going into that, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming, I always hear from spirit, stand in your power, stand in your power. And it brings me right back. And so that's kind of a really I want to do a plug for all of us here to for people to reach out and to circle up with us. I know my certification program begins, well, next week, but in the next week or two, we are really getting rolling. And that's a soul path walk. And I know that Pamela has circles and Alana has circles and Angela has circles. So reach out and even just follow us because we're constantly feeding you guides and support and explanations like this Sunday is not only a new moon, so you might have, for me, I get a huge increase of dreams at night during the new moon. New moon energy, I love new moon energy. It's not quite as in your face as full moon. And it's also a solar eclipse. And it's also shifting into Monday, the autumn equinox. Like we got
Lots of
superpowers
stuff
going
going
on
on.
here. Yeah. And if you don't think this affects you, think again because the moon affects the water in on our planet. How could it not affect us? And the moon is a very small celestial body compared to some of the other movements. So we really have to wake up to that and accept that there's stuff going on that is like moving in and out of us, right? So
Well, I'm sharing a video as I was talking about earlier, Angela, and it was talking about even the mathematical aspect to a lot of the changes that there is a certain and it's a higher percentage of people that are going to be shifting into this during these times. So it's really crazy. I will share it on my Facebook. I'll share it with you guys as well. But if anybody wants to know about it or see it, please let me know. Reach out because the mathematical aspect is not something that I'm overly familiar with, but boy, is it fascinating. And so it gives some context from, again, another viewpoint, a bit of a broader viewpoint. So it's out there. There's all kinds of information, that helps to reinforce or helps you to teach us, depending on where you are on your journey. So don't hesitate. Whatever you're drawn to, know that's what you're meant to see.
Yeah. I love that numerology part too. And I was just gifted a book that was channeled by Marilyn Harper, who channels Adironda. She gave me this book and she had channeled it, and it's all on numerology and the numbers and, the angel numbers, the double digits, that sort of thing, triple. But I always come back to every single thing, like my pen. There's a there's a mathematical equation for my pen. Like for everything in our physical world, there's a mathematical equation for it. So it all begins at that numerology level, which is sacred geometry and
Mhm.
and energy. That's the very foundation of our world. So we can't ignore it.
No,
Mm-mm.
just hearing about it in this context is just amazing because for a long time, things have been hidden. These contexts have not been shared, have not been explored, right? So, we keep it very linear and very logical. And this is taking it to that etherical aspect. And it's fabulous.
Yeah, it is. Mm. So what else is going on this week, you guys? Alana, how are you doing?
I'm having a rough old go, but I've been suffering with a bit of an illness, but it's again, we talked about this when we started. I know it's a movement through, again, alongside these energies that are moving, but also stepping into, that's why I keep muting myself because I'm coughing still. But stepping into another level. And I had this conversation with a client of mine as well. It's like, she's like, oh, I keep getting caught in sickness and an illness and whatever. And it's like, no, I know that it's in order to release, we physically need to release things. So it's like, I know exactly what I'm releasing in the process. I've been doing the journaling and processing, and there's a different side of me that I've been allowing to release. So I know that's what this is from. And that's also empowering. It was like, literally, I'm like, as I'm releasing this cough, it's physically leaving me. Like I can feel it breaking down and moving away. And I'm like, yes, this is so good.
I remember a number of years ago on my journey, I had done 3 different modalities in a week. I had had shiatsu massage, I had Reiki, and I had done some real deep emotional work on someone's table. And after that week, the following weekend, I was so sick, so sick. I felt like the flu came over me. It ended up turning into walking pneumonia. I was like, what is going on? And so I talked to my shiatsu practitioner at the time, and he said, you are literally, because of the healing work that I did that week, releasing the physical manifestation of it, how it was stored in the body, how energetically it was stored in the body. And I was like, wow, I do not recommend doing 3 different modalities in 1 week, but I'm the type, I needed to do the work. And that's what happened. So from that moment many years ago, whenever I've gotten sick, whenever I've had an ailment of any kind, I don't buy into a diagnosis anymore. I really look at it and go, okay, the body is just physically something that I've stored that I'm not aware of is there has come to the surface. And it is really freeing to know that our body can take care of itself in that way.
Yeah.
It's quite, I want to say magical, but it's not magic. It really is what our body is designed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. And that how it's like coming to the surface and revealing itself in order to release and let go out of the body. And not
Yes.
to say that you can't take Tylenol or
Oh
medicines if
no.
you so choose. Like, absolutely, we would say, follow your doctor, but
Mhm.
also trust your body and what your body is telling you. And nobody else has that knowledge. You're the wise one. You're the physician within you. is what my friend says, the physician within, and listen to that, because regardless of what, anyone says around, it's you holding the wisdom.
The other piece of this too is in that your body, like my body's telling me in it, is like I've been in rest. Like I could, even in my business, I'm like, I could be like, oh, I need to do this, this, and this. I was doing a launch of a program this week, and I'm like, no, I'm resting because my body needs that. Like obviously it's slowing me down for a reason.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. It's that whole element. I'm all about preventative. Going to a medical doctor is smart to be preventative for anything else that might, be surfacing. But
Yeah.
it's that element of, do what you do, do what you need to do to take care of you. A lot of the slowing down is because of the fact that there's something, again, another ascension,
Yeah.
another thing you're going to move to. But it's that element of honoring where you're at.
Mhm.
And society has not really allowed us to sustain
Mm-mm.
that if you think about it. You
Mm-mm.
go to work, you're supposed to go to work sick. And
Yeah.
if you don't go to work, you're hearing about it. Now, that I know is shifting and slowly changing ever since we've been through the whole COVID element. They're recognizing that people need to take care of themselves. However, there's still that mindset there that I have to keep moving forward. I have to keep pushing through. I need to show up. Well, I'm a big believer after everything we've been through. I don't want to get someone else sick. I want to stay home,
Mhm.
right? Like even in my practice, if I'm not 100%, I'm not going to drag people through because it's my job. I want people to feel safe and know they're going to be taken care of. And I also want to walk that talk of taking care of myself. So I'm not passing something along.
Yeah. A beautiful authenticity. But let's like look at this. We're in the year of the snake. We're transforming. Our bodies are changing at cellular levels. Our consciousness is rising. So a big part of this is non-resistance, is letting go. Like you said, Alana, I'm releasing, I'm letting it out. And I love that. Like if people can really bring their focus into that consciousness of, okay, I'm going to stop resisting, because maybe it's not health, maybe it's disruption in other ways, which very much can be, you know, in relationships, in like change of relationships, change of jobs, change of location, change of, money situations, anything. And so we just have to learn to let go and follow the flow, which is not easy for some of us that likes control.
Well, and that's
Mm-hmm.
it. It's exactly for me. Is like I've been moving into this next level of identity, this ascension, and it's around money, it's around of other things, and it's like, but I know I need to release and let go, like you said, of the control of how that looks, what like the even the doing of it when we go to process, even moving into that other next level of ourselves, is what does that look like? I'm just kind of obviously going with the flow because I have no choice. With the cold and everything else that's going on, but and relaxing into it, I'm just letting it process and release and go in the way.
Yeah.
And something I also learned about just in regards to that is, and I know we've all seen where there's the water and how it changes based on the words that are attached to that water. Um, I've seen a post and it was regarding how H2O is not the actual what it is. There's another number to it.
I heard,
And
I
in
read that too.
and the aspect of being able to ask your water to help to change your genes.
Mm.
And it's like that, putting that intention and that frequency to the water. And again, it all fascinates me. I mean, I have glasses that have love, peace, harmony, right, that to drink water out of, because I do believe that everything, again, from that frequency, I want to feed myself that, and water is a great way to be able to do that, especially because we are 75%, right? Or I don't know if that's the accurate number, so don't quote me on that, people. But it's high up there, anyways. So it's that element of, if I can help myself to intentionally put into the frequency of my water those kinds of changes, that's fascinating and amazing, and is only going to help me in my healing process
Right?
when I'm going
Yeah.
through something.
Yeah, I've heard that before too, where like, you take I have tea in the moment, but like take your cup and even put your affirmation, your goal, your whatever into the water. Intention for anybody that's listening, I want to have fun with it, and then drink the water. And it's
Hmm.
allowing that to come in, right? You're setting, not just setting the intention, but you're looking for support in that you're bringing in, you're physically bringing into your body. So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Receiving
putting
too.
Yeah, and putting on your like my water bottles. I have a beautiful crystal water bottle, but the water warms up in it very quickly when I'm out and about. So I have these other metal ones, and I'm like, I don't really want to use metal, but I put the flower of life stickers on them, and words
Yeah.
like you said, Pamela, love or peace or joy on the bottle, and with intention, and that can is the same as holding it because when you're running around you're not thinking, but yeah, do things like that, and in your food too, right?
Yes.
That is the same as praying, like praying in gratitude for the food, but also sending the energy of gratitude, and changing the frequency of the food before you eat it. Like, take a minute to do that. It's beautiful.
I've been buying sourdough bread from a lady locally. And I've bought bread many places, different, but the flavor and this bread is so good. So I picked up on Friday or Saturday, and I said to her, I said, like, I really am thrilled to see, first of all, how your home business is growing. Like, she is serving a lot of people. And I said, but it is so full of flavor. I said, it must be made with love, right? And she just started into a conversation how she does love doing what she's doing, and she is big on the intention. So her and a friend used to have weekends where women would come together and they'd make their favorite dish and they would exchange, but the intention was making sure that you're coming in a positive space, that the food is being made in positivity and love. And it was just really fascinating. I'm like, well, no darn wonder I'm enjoying this so much then, because it's
Right?
really aligned with me. So yeah, there is truth to it, and you can taste the difference.
You can. Anybody that loves cooking for people, like everybody loves eating their food. Well,
Yeah,
why? You could make the same thing and it just isn't quite the
the
same.
same.
And a lot of it is that intention. Like, when I'm cooking, I tend to not have my focus on the cooking. I burn a lot. I love to have someone cook for me.
Well, we've heard it before. Like you said, the secret ingredient is love. I don't know how many times, like for eons, generations.
Yeah.
And it's the truth of that. Like, and that's the evidence of even, like you said about the even speaking over water and changing the intention and the different vibration of, and there's liquid in all baked goods. So we're all cooking and stuff like that. So it's very similar, and how powerful. And even just going back to that, when you speak over water and freeze it, it changes the actual look of the water, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
evidence
that's
of
true.
what's possible.
Well, let's talk about that in anything. Anybody that's following their passion, you can tell, right? And
Absolutely.
so I think, well, I know this is part of our shift is people are coming into, I just want to do what I love doing. I don't want the corporate world anymore. I want to be a photographer. I want to be an artist. I desire to spend time, serving people in this way. And when they do that, they light up and they're glowing and
Mhm.
radiating,
And then
Mhm.
their business grows
right?
exponentially, like you said about the woman with the sourdough. She loves what she does, so of course it's going to grow. And this is like when I talk about, and a lot of us, all four of us, I think, talk about it, is when you're in that alignment, you create the opportunity for more to come,
Yes.
right? So that's what happens every single time.
And
Yes.
it helps to foster the faith. I was blessed enough yesterday to work with a woman, and I've worked with her a few times, but she came in and she had that aha moment of how everything was lining up and how God of her understanding was actually supporting her where she's at right now. And that is such a beautiful thing to see when there is that realization. It's not anything she's working hard for. She is just recognizing that, oh my goodness, the time frames, what she's going through, what she needs to do, it's just bang, bang, bang. It's happening. Conversations that she's having, it's happening. Like she works where she's off work right now. Her supervisor wants to put her on a compassionate leave. They have the discretion to do that. And I'm like, wow, where do you ever really hear that in a company? Right. And then the next person up who has to approve it has been off for a long period of time once before and understands completely. So she was like, wow. And then there is something within the organization where they have, as you get into the retirement years, that you can go down to part-time for your last 5 years. It's not used, hasn't been used. And so there's that potential for her to now advocate for the value of that. It was just a really, really magical moment for her to come to that realization and put all these pieces to the puzzle together. So those of you that are out there, these things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're not fully aware until we have a conversation with someone, and then we can put the pieces to the puzzle together. So, have those conversations. Reach out to us if you're, curious, questioning, wondering. Any one of us here can help you, but I'm sure you have people around you that can help you as well.
100%.
So it's that whole element of, it's such a beautiful thing to see the shifts happening before your very eyes.
Mm. We had a beautiful circle gathering last night with women, and the question that was asked of us is, as we are moving and shifting into here in the northern hemisphere, maybe not for Angela, but we are shifting into the darkness, right? So as we move from one season to the next, acknowledging that shift in movement of the autumnal equinox or spring equinox for the southern hemisphere, what is it that you most learned over the last season? What did the light teach you, or what did the dark teach you? But for us here, what did the light teach you? What are you taking with you into the next season?
I love this
And
question.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, for me, one of the things that became very, very prevalent and aware of even more at a new level through the summer was the subtle ways that the nature is speaking to me and supporting and communicating. I think I talked about the butterflies at Fairy Falls, and recently the ladybug has really brought in some beautiful messages. But it's more than just, oh, I saw an owl today. What does owl say to me? It's much deeper level of subtleness, and I'm so grateful for that awareness. Yeah. So, Skew, what are you taking with you into the dark?
I'm gonna jump in because I do have to jump off early. I apologize today, but and I'm excited to hear the rest of this conversation. But for me, it was very similar of paying attention to the signs that God's spirit are all around me, and in the everyday things, like you said about um, just signs and paying attention to that every day. We are always supported. And the other piece was ease and flow. And we don't have to do and be in control of all the things, but it's like we talked about in the alignment. And when we truly tap into who we are, who we truly are, more and allow ourselves to become more of that, give ourselves permission to express more of that, beautiful, beautiful things happen. That's what I've kind of received over the last little bit.
Nice.
And I know for myself, I mean, even in the last 2 weeks, the caterpillars that I'm seeing, which again, for me, is that element of transformation, not just here and for me, but for everywhere. And it's being shown to me in that way, right? Because what are caterpillars? I mean, they turn into the beautiful butterflies or the moths, and it's that element, they'll cocoon. So they're actually getting ready to go into some darkness, just in the same way as we are. So, and this is, I mean, this is fall. Normally you don't see a lot of caterpillars at this time of year, but I'm seeing them like crazy. So it's like, all right, there's some big transformation that's coming.
Yeah.
And just standing in that and knowing, again, we are supported, that there is more going on than meets the eye, right? So the stories and the narratives that we're hearing is that whole element of, we don't have to put so much weight and energy into it. I just wanted to also put a shout out to Angela as well, who's not here today, because I know she's had, from the sounds of it, a heck of a week, but sending you extra love, Angela. Yeah, we are all going through it, and we're here for you. So
Yeah. Yeah, totally. The one thing when I talked about, seeing how nature is speaking to you, um, there's a lot of people that say, oh, this manifestation doesn't work, right? Like the conscious manifestation creation. But that's where we can look at how nature is speaking to us. So, like you said, the caterpillar, and I said the ladybug has really spoken to me. And what I've noticed is the messages come through in different ways. So it's happening in nature, but also for me, when I sat in meditation around the ladybug, I thought, well, it reminds me of home because we used to sing Ladybug, Ladybug, Fly Away Home. It also reminded me of the fact that it was playfulness, childlike to me, very much a playful energy because as children we were fascinated with the ladybug and we would count the dots on the ladybug's back. And so then I thought, oh, numerology. And that's when I realized, oh, I just got gifted that numerology book like a couple days ago. So it's coming through in that's another way the message is coming. Oh, I better read that book because there's something in there, right? And how ladybug for home is like the people around you, the love and support. And I know there's other meanings for ladybug out there. I did look them up after I went into meditation. But then I also had a beautiful one of the things that I've been like, oh, I truly need some help. I'm running kind of behind the ball, racing to keep up with events in not getting enough time to get social media out there before the event. And, all of that when you're wearing all the hats in your business, it's hard to keep up with it. And this month I was really feeling it. Well, I just met the most beautiful young woman who's so creatively talented with photography and putting reels together. And she's like, really wants to work with me in my programs. So we worked out a trade. And so that too is the universe. That's not me manifesting. That's me, consciously creating when I say, oh gosh, I really could use some help. And it comes in. That's manifestation. It's not always a material thing. And yeah. And so nature is speaking to you, but also pay attention to how it's coming through in other ways too.
oh, the
That makes sense.
confirmation and the affirmations that are,
Yeah.
with and that's, the universe will do it in 2 or 3 different ways to make
Yeah.
sure you're getting it, because not always do we get the first one, right? But there's that element, or
Most
it
of the
does.
time we don't.
Yeah, really. Or it just doesn't sink in. And then all of a sudden you're hit with other things. And that's when it actually kind of solidifies and sinks in, and we internalize it, because the biggest thing is internalizing things, right?
Yeah.
This stuff you can't go superficial on in any capacity. It's that deep internalization of what has meaning for me, what resonates for me, what's aligned with me. So if you're out there and you're looking at this, it's again not superficial. It's really what feels right for you. So Janice, you spoke about the fact that the ladybug, you got your own messaging from it. You did do a little bit of research, you know there's more about it. But what's most important, if you're unsure and not really into the meditation to get a message or to have an understanding, when you're reading any information on it, take what resonates for you. It's not all going to apply. The same as numerology, the same as horoscopes. Not everything is going to apply all of the time, but take what works, takes what resonates, or makes sense to you. That's the easiest way to discern. And when you're doing that, you are actually creating that level of discernment for yourself. Yeah. Because you are internalizing those things. So as you're moving along, it will be a situation where these things will come easier for you to get your own messaging. You'll tap in easier. It has to be start with that learning process first.
Oh, I love how you said that. It's not superficial. That's exactly it. We cannot take it at the superficial level, surface level, need to go deeper. And some people go, well, then we're just kind of taking what we want from it. It's like, well, what feels good? What feels like it fits in your life? And anything like, and you'll find when nature starts speaking to you, you'll find that you create your own symbolism with nature, right? Like for me, bear has a very special meaning for me, and moose too. Like there's specific meanings just from my past experiences of bear or moose or owl or whatever animals are in your area that you see. So start keeping track of, well, what did it mean the last time I saw, the butterfly? What did that mean? And we know it's transformation and flight and blossoming, like coming out, and same with caterpillar, but like you said, it's very personal.
Mm-hmm. You spoke about the bear energy. I remember for me back in the day when I was moving from an abusive situation, abusive marriage, and I was attending some group work. And a question got asked in this group about, so what animal do you feel like when you're in the middle of something that's abusive? And it was very interesting because the circle that people talked about, a deer caught in the headlights, the scared rabbit, a timid mouse. It got around to me and I'm like an angry old caged bear, right? I was just done. And I had 2 children, so of course protective of my kids as well. But so there is, now that wasn't something that someone gave me. That was just something that I felt intrinsically. So I knew that I shouldn't say that. At that time, I didn't know. But as I grew in my awareness and understanding around spirituality, that bear energy was a very important aspect of my life at that particular point in time. So it really is, there are things that will bring up an animal or something to do with nature that is very personal. And that was very personal to me, but it was like not understanding at that time, bear energy, that is what it took me to. And a lot of people know what it's like to be the mama bear, right? You're not going to take any crap.
Right. And, that's so cool. Like when I first started, I had been afraid of bears my entire life. And of course I run into them in the wild all the time. And I get so scared. And because I would wake up from dreams of a bear chasing me and be really scared, every time. But I also started to see a pattern that every time I dreamt about bears chasing me, something happened to someone I love, or they got sick, or one time a bear was chasing him in a dream and I woke up panicked trying to get him into the car, right? And then the next day he fell at school and broke his arm. Like so that was, and so I started to really work with this. And when I worked with Kali energy, which is a Hindu goddess, she's very much, to me, she's the spirit of bear. Mama bear. She will come in and fiercely love you no matter what is going on and wipe everything out in order to protect you so that you can rise up into your highest and best version. And that to me was bear energy. So I started to think, oh my gosh, bear wasn't chasing me in the dreams. Bear energy was coming in to help me because there was these incidents coming up. It wasn't predicting the incidents. It was like, this is happening, especially like when my mom passed from cancer. I had a lot of bear and moose dreams, and the bear was coming in to help me step into my bear energy, my healer, my, nurturer, protector, and for me and for my loved ones. So it had a
Mhm.
very it was very powerful, bear and moose, very powerful for me. But that fear of the animal is sometimes a really good indicator that you need to work with that animal a little bit more.
Absolutely. And we take things literally, right? So that element of the bear chasing you, that is a literal interpretation of what was happening. And as you learned, oh, wait a minute, no, that bear was coming in to support me, to bring the energy in that I needed. Wasn't chasing you, wasn't after you. It was
Yeah.
becoming a part of you. And I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Because
Yeah, well, and as I became more aware of that, my dreams shifted. So now bear comes in and my first reaction might be a little bit of panic, but then I go, oh, wait a minute, no. Like in my dream, I'm changing the way I'm reacting to the bear.
yeah,
So that's very cool. No more nightmares.
thank goodness.
Love that. Yeah, but
And,
that,
and speaking to nature, not necessarily animals, I remember when I had split up in a relationship and I went to stay at a girlfriend's and she had a lovely property. And I was sitting under a tree and the wind picked up. It was like it was going to storm and the trees just started going crazy. But in that moment, it made me realize I just need to root myself. I need to ground myself through this storm that I was
mm,
going through personally. So it showed me that we can be flexible, that we can bend with it. We don't have to stay rigid in this, in the storms in our lives. We can be flexible, we can be bend and mold for our benefit, not for someone else's, but for our own. So it was a really beautiful moment as these trees were just shifting and swaying. The dark clouds came in, and it was a little while later the rain came down, but it was, and so cleansing for me, very, very cleansing. But it was that whole visual of, okay, that's what I need to do in this storm. Go with it, run with
oh,
it.
I love that. Thank you for that
Yeah,
reminder too, that it's not just animals we're looking and creatures we're looking at. It's trees and grass and flowers and the wind and the
yeah,
water and what you see in the sky in the clouds everywhere. It's everywhere because
absolutely.
yeah, that energy is whatever you want to call it, God, goddess, source, whatever it is permeating and surrounding us, like permeating everything, surrounding us completely and within us. So,
And it's supporting us. I did
mhm.
another healing thing with friends in their backyard, and I was going through a really tough time. And every time I addressed something or spoke something out loud, the wind would pick up like it was taking it away. And I was blown away because there was no way it was
Blown
coincidence,
away.
no way at all. And other people saw it too, right? Saw and felt it. But
Yeah.
the timing of how that wind helping me to carry those words away, carry the energy away. It was life is really magical, people.
It
Like it
is.
really is. As I get my
It
truth
is.
bumps.
Ah, I know. I love it. And I love how you said I was blown away. Your words were blown away. Oh, I love that. That's working in spirit. That is being one with all. Like that is powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh. And I just want to, can we just address some of the harsh energy that is out there, the conditions that are happening that people are seeing right now? I think it's really important that
Absolutely.
we address that. We're not living with rose-colored glasses on, although I highly recommend that. But we are we are fully aware, and people have said, okay, yeah, but, why is this happening? It's like source, God, energy is pure divine love and grace and creativity and beauty. It is not dark and heavy and negative in any way. It is only, these things are happening out in the world because we are holding that darkness within us. And so it's not, um, I think we need to take the responsibility of the fact that all of that is happening and shifting because people are struggling, because there is, that heavy energy that needs to rise up and release. But to also recognize that what we are seeing on the media is such a tiny little part of the energy in the world. That while those horrible things are happening and people are focusing their attention onto it, there is also beauty and celebration and people getting married and babies being born and fun things, beautiful things happening. More of that love and celebration together, hugging each other. More of that is happening than the dark stuff that we're seeing that's troubling us. And I think we need to remember that yes, we need to be aware of how people are struggling and send them love, like pour Care Bear stare into that darkness, whatever you want to call it,
Janice,
struggle,
Janice, you are so
scarcity.
accurate. You are
Yeah.
so accurate.
And then bring our focus back to remembering the world is not ending. We have not gone to like hell in a handbasket. I don't know if I can say that.
Sure you can.
Everything is not falling apart. We are transforming and stay there. Yeah, go ahead.
So to speak to that, how I describe to people is there is light and dark in all of us.
Mhm.
Where you're responding from is either your lightness or your darkness. And if your darkness is coming up, it's being shown to you so that you can start to learn to be more of the light. Okay. Also, it's an element of we get all consumed with these worldly things that are going on. What I encourage people to do is practice a little bit of neutrality or staying in your own lane. Not burying your head, but being able to say, you know what, yes, that is happening, but is it affecting me right here, right now in my bubble? A lot of times it's not, but we make it as though it is.
I
So
love
it's
that.
so it's being able to say, discern again, okay, can I control that? Is my anger going to help that? Anger will actually perpetuate it. Hate begets hate. Anger begets anger. What we do is we have not really been taught to love unconditionally. We have been taught that love is reserved for family, for friends, for, our intimate partners. But love really is a state of being and a way of being that is for everyone. So when there's that darkness, people, we need to send them more love. They're wounded. It's their woundedness that is causing that darkness. And on a soul level, they have chosen to be in this dark place to teach the rest of us. So send love wherever you can, rather than getting into judgments and criticisms, right? Which only creates divide between humanity. And if you think about everything that we're seeing and that we're watching, and that is such a small segment of the world, it's being designed to create divide. And all we need to do is send those wounded people love. I had a young man that I spoke to about how Islam, a lot of people are moving to the UK. And one of the things that I explained to him, because he is autistic and he's getting caught up in the things that are going on in the world, is that people are moving out where there is the clusters of all the darkness, I'm going to say, right, in the behaviors. Okay. It's not about culture, it's about behaviors. It's that element that they're now moving into other areas where it can get watered down a little bit so that it can actually start to filter the love into areas where it needs to go. So by us getting all consumed, we're only fueling that, or we're only helping it to heal.
Oh,
Which
I love
choose?
it.
Which do you want to do? Do you want to help to heal it, or do you want to help to fuel it with your anger and with your frustration?
Oh,
And
so
then
beautiful.
it's not really changing anything. It's affecting you right now in this world, in your bubble, in your part of the world. And that's where we get to have choice. No, I don't want to bring that in.
Mhm.
I stopped watching the news over 30 years ago
Mhm.
because I got fed up that there was nothing good presented. It was all fear, hate, war,
Yeah.
sadness, all of the lower vibrations that keep us stuck, that keep us in a survival state. We
Yeah.
want to move beyond that. We
Yeah.
don't
And
have to be in
notice
that source.
that's so beautifully said. I love that. I love that. And notice for people when you just said that about, the news, notice even on social media, the fear-mongering headlines, the ones that catch your attention that go, you know, asteroid coming to Earth, or, the one,
Yeah,
and you can watch it if you want, but notice how you engage with that because we do. We tend to gravitate to the drama. And yet, you'll watch it and find out, oh, that is nothing. They just used this big headline to catch my attention. That was manipulative, right? Like, so notice how you react to the drama and consciously choose. It's like, okay, I'm going to go in that direction and watch, or I'm not, and I'm going to let that go. So I just became very aware. And these were people that I liked watching and they were still using these drama headlines, and that kind of was like, I don't like the way that's feeding the fear in the world.
yeah. Well, and even you see these the people about people dying,
Hmm.
stars dying,
Hmm.
right? And it's a big to do, but then you're clicking on stuff that ends up being garbage. Like they're doing it to get you to buy into or go to something that isn't necessarily worth watching, to be quite honest. So it's
Yeah.
being very consciously selective of what it is that you want to bring into your world. And by reading things, listening things, you're bringing it into your world. We don't
Yeah.
realize that. What do
Yeah.
you want um, to be? What vibration do you want to be living in, basically, as
Yeah.
simply put as possible? Because
Yeah.
you can go into the lower vibrational things where they're not so nice, or you can go into the higher vibration and feel that peace and that joy and that love. And
Yeah.
it sounds, it for a lot of people, this will sound way too simple, but quite honestly, it is that simple. You have choice.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to choose for you and your world, in your family, and your loved ones, and extended, family? You get a
Yeah.
choice every single moment of every day.
That's so true. So beautifully said. And the choices, like you might be saying, well, I want more peace in my life. And yet be aware of how you're choosing. What are you choosing then in the moment to moment
Yeah,
in everyday life? How are you choosing? Are you engaging in conflict or in arguments or in discussions that, or are you choosing peace? And
yeah,
so only you can bring the peace in and feel the peace. Well, the peace
absolutely,
is already there. Only you can enhance it. So that's kind of,
absolutely. And
yeah.
in conflict too, for people, understand conflict is an opportunity for everyone involved to grow.
Hmm.
So conflict's not a bad deemed
True.
as a bad thing. It can be very healing, but it's how are you showing up? How are you growing from that? It's really about looking at it from that perspective.
Right. And I
What
think
a
we've run
lovely,
out of time.
yeah, what a
We
lovely
could keep going.
conversation as always.
Oh, yeah. So
Uh,
juicy. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Alana, for showing up. Sorry. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. The circle closes for now, but the light remains, not just here, but within you. So I want you to know that these teachings echo through your being like a lighthouse. Calls over the sea, steady, unwavering, and sovereign. Share what touched your soul. Leave a comment. We're happy to hear your comments. We're okay if you don't agree. We want to hear those perspectives. Absolutely. Share, subscribe, find us on YouTube, look us up on Facebook, where you can find us everywhere. You are the light, you are the way, and the circle will be here when you need to return. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. See you next
God
week.
bless. See you next week.